for right now on the line. I actually remember the first time I heard this guy on DJ Clue's The Professional back in 1998. And it's on If They Want It. It's an honor to have him on my show. Please welcome Fabolous to the show right now. Fab, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? What's going on?
I'm chilling. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me as well. Happy holidays to you.
Same to you, man. Same to you and your family and your friends. And how excited are you to start basketball on Sunday?
Oh, man, very excited, man. I'm glad that, for at least we've been resolved to have somewhat of a season for this year. I didn't want to see us completely lose a whole season, so we missed a few games, but at least we'll still have some basketball for the winter.
Nah, that would have been terrible. Real quick, before we get back to the basketball, Fab, were you pretty impressed that I dropped the first time I heard you on The Professional? That's pretty impressive, right?
Very impressive, man. That means you know your stuff, man. And anybody who is a fan of music and still knows, the history of music is also a person that I admire as well.
Was that your first song that wasn't on like a mixtape or underground though?
Yeah, that was my first joint that was I think commercially released. You know what I'm saying? I had put out a lot of stuff on the mixtape level up until then, but that was my first time, putting it down, actually making songs for a commercial release.
Right, no, I remember that, and obviously the first album came out 3 years later. But anyway, we'll get to the music in a little bit. So still talking about the basketball, the Knicks are going to open up against the Celtics. What do you think about the Knicks so far this year? I mean, a few years ago they were beyond awful. Now they got Amari, Carmelo, Tyson Chandler. What are your thoughts so far?
Well, I love them down low, man. I love Tyson Chandler addition to the Knicks. Of course, Amari and Carmelo are my guys. Yeah. So, I'm always there supporting them. I would like to see how they backcourt, how the guards and are gonna mesh now, having down here down low as well. So.
Yeah, that's the thing right now. Amari and Carmelo are great. Getting Chandler's great, but the guards. Listen, I think Bibby could do something, but Bibby's not what he was. Tony Douglas is still young. Iman Shumpert's going to be good, but he hasn't played a game yet. So the guards,
right.
Baron Davis will be back in a month, I think, but the guards aren't looking too great right now.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. And the one thing about Bibby and Baron Davis, they're not those young sparks, but which I think we do need to grab up eventually. But they're also veteran players, and they've been around, so they know the ins and outs of the game and know the ins and outs of the league. And we just got to find a little spark at the guard position, and I think we should be all right.
I think Barron's gonna be okay. I think he's one of those like bright lights type of guys where I feel like he needs to be motivated. I'm not like knocking him. I've always loved his game. I feel like he's one of those guys that needs to be motivated, needs to be told he can't play, or be in front of the garden.
Right. Some, like you say, certain players rise to the occasion. Barron's always been a player. He's very competitive, and I never really seen him give up. So I like him in the chemistry of that. And he's he's a veteran guy, and he's been playing in the league for a long time. So I think that addition is going to work. I can't go against thinking that they need some kind of young spark at the guard position as well. There's a lot of young talent in the league now in that guard position, from the Westbrooks to the Darren Williams, the Chris Pauls, and a lot of those guys in the guard position nowadays. You're going to need somebody that can be able to run up and down with those guys as well. So.
And it looks like the dream of getting Chris Paul is not going to happen because he's going to be throwing lobs to Blake Griffin the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen a couple preseason games, and they look pretty impressive as well, man. I was really rooting for the Chris Paul come to New York thing, man, and when it didn't happen, I don't know what the Hornets wanted, but I guess the Knicks then had the pieces to bring him there, and he ended up in the Clippers.
Yeah, I don't think they had the pieces. I'm not sure if you watched the Knicks game last night. It was only a preseason game, and I was there. Let me tell you, man, the energy it was a preseason game, Fab. I felt like I was walking into a playoff game. The atmosphere, the energy was electric.
Wow. That's the Garden too. I've never been to a Knicks game that I haven't felt the electricity as soon as it run through my veins as soon as I came in the Garden. So That's our fanship there, man. That Knicks fanship is strong, and you can feel it as soon as you walk in the building. Man, I've been to games all over the country, and I don't feel that same energy everywhere you go. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna badmouth any franchises, but that Knicks franchise, you feel it as soon as you walk in the building.
Now, obviously, with Carmelo Anthony in New York, I know that's your boy, and I think he obviously coming to New York is going to expand him. What's the difference in that? You're a star who's from New York and on the New York scene. What's the difference between being a star in New York and basically everywhere else?
I can't give you the direct of it. I just can speak on being here. The rising to being a star here is a great thing because this is such a diverse city, such a diverse place, such a moving, hustle and bustle place that if you can make the motto is if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. So that attitude is in every New Yorker, and when we go in, we're passionate about our sports and the people who represent us as a city playing sports here. So I can't really tell you about being a star somewhere else because I'm not really from anywhere else, but I just know how it is to be from here. You know what I'm saying?
Who was your favorite players growing up in the league?
Michael Jordan, even though he was a Knick killer, Michael Jordan was definitely my favorite player growing up.
What's your favorite memory as being a kid or being an NBA fan?
My favorite memories are, of course, Michael Jordan hitting the 63 points on the Celtics. The dunk contest with Michael Jordan doing Kiss the Rim.
You a diehard Jordan fan.
Yeah, man. Some of those, some of the series I can go into Knicks series that were crazy. I remember watching the Knicks series and the OJ thing happened, and that
was crazy.
Like something turned off the game. You know what I'm saying? To they were following OJ live. So I remember that, and I remember those battles between the bad boy Knicks team against like the Heat and Alonzo Mourning and those.
Yeah, the Knicks and Heat was my favorite rivalry. But you bring up the OJ thing. If that were to happen now, it would be so easy to just put the game on another channel. But it seemed like that was ages ago.
Yeah, it was wild this happened. I had never seen it. We were flipping out like, whoa, what the? I think it was a playoff game too because it was in the summer and stuff. So I was like,
Game 5 of the finals, yeah.
Right. So it was crazy. They just flipped it and just went to a highway with a cop car chasing a white Bronco, and I'm like, what the hell? And like it was but it was it was that time. I guess it was definitely breaking news, so they had to do that. But that was one memory that I have that will never go out of my head just for that happening.
Oh, everybody knows where they were for that. They actually said, I was 10 years old at the time, but I remember watching the game clearly. They actually said that a lot of people, even at the game at the Garden that night, were actually in the hallways watching the OJ chase.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's nuts. Let's talk a little music. What do you got? I know you got a new project coming up. Why don't you talk about that for a sec?
Yeah, definitely. I'm letting out a mixtape on Christmas Day. It's called There's No Competition 3. And this is the final installment of that mixtape series I did called There's No Competition that I started with along with DJ Drama. And so this is like the trilogy of it, you know what I'm saying? Like the Godfather 1, 2, and 3. This is the final of that. So, I just wanted to give it to the fans for the holidays. And enjoy some music over the holidays as well. And also get ready for my full-length album project coming in 2012.
Yeah, when is that going to come out? Because I love Loso. I love all your albums, to be honest. I say my two favorite albums of yours, and this is my opinion because it's not, is I'd say Ghetto Fab, of course, and I would say Loso's Way. I love them all, but if I have to pick my first two, it'd be those ones.
Oh man, appreciate it, man. Yeah, those are two of my best, even in my opinion, it's two of my best efforts as well because Curse coming in, Ghetto Fab was like my baby, and like that was me. Just, kind of coming into form of who I was, and then Loso's Way is a whole big evolution of that as well, and showing me in different light and speaking on different things and topics. And on that song, Stay, that was me talking and having the emotions and feelings of having my first son, and you know what I'm saying. So it was a lot of different things on both of those albums that showed me at different times in my career, but I think they produced the best music, you know what I'm saying, out of my career.
Yeah, you brought the song "Stay." That's an absolute beautiful song. I gotta tell you a story, Fab. So, I was 17. It was obviously, it was a horrible day. September 11th, 2001. I had just graduated high school, and I actually got a job in Lower Manhattan working with my uncle.
Right.
And so the night before, I was so pumped to wake up. Your album, The Blueprint. That was going to be one of the most anticipated albums ever. Yours was going to be the biggest debut. So I don't know if you remember the story. Remember Record Explosion?
Record Explosion. Is that the joint downtown?
Yeah, I think they're all closed now, but they had them like on 34th. They had them by World Trade. There was one by Battery Park.
34th. Yeah, it is. I know what you're talking about.
I was at the Record Explosion right by the World Trade Center at 7:59 in the morning, getting getting your album and Jay's album. I got back to the office and I had a Discman. There was no iPods. I had a blue Discman. I actually popped in your CD first before Jay's, and I was listening to it. And then I was 2 blocks from the World Trade Center. I didn't even hear the plane hit because I had your album on. And for you, I know it's a terrible day, but that was your first album ever coming out. What was your emotions that day like?
I mean, my thing was just seeing that. So that was just a day that I couldn't even control anything but the emotions that I had for what was going on with my family and people all over, because I really didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Everybody from my aspect was just still just trying to figure out what was happening. So I wanted to close to my family, and I was thinking more about that than the actual album. When I first spoke on.
I didn't think. There's no way in hell I thought you were thinking, my record sales are going down, because I know you wouldn't think that, but it was interesting that that's the day your first album came out.
Right. That's always going to be memorable to me, because that day was a tragic day, but it was also like the birth of kind of my career. You know what I'm saying? So I have that day kind of embedded in the back of my brain.
Nah, definitely. I remember I was bumping you back in 98 on the Clues CDs, and I was like, this guy is good. Like I said, I remember I've had Kiss on my show, and I remember hearing him on Last Days of Big, and hearing you guys come up back then. You guys are both great now, and it's great then too, but also so much bigger. So it's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, man. I grew up on Kiss as well, so it's great that we can be we're blessed enough to be around and create music and have people that appreciate our music. You know what I'm saying? We've came a long way, and this 10 years later now, and for Kiss maybe a little bit more than that, and we still have our presence and our relevance in the game, and are able to still make great music.
What does it take to stay relevant? Because sometimes in any music or sports radio, or you can be good for a year or two, then you fall off. How have you stayed so relevant the last 12 to 15 years? I mean,
for different people, it's different things for different people. But I definitely think, of course, like you said, you got to make some good music. You also got to pay attention to your surroundings, what's going on with the people that make it in your craft. You know what I mean? You got to know what you're up against, and pay attention to what the streets want and what's working in the streets as well, and try to improve yourself too, and evolve and improve. You know what I mean? And I think that'll keep you relevant, man. Like some of the guys who were around for long periods of time in this game, and take little notes from off the way they did it. You know what I'm saying? So that's my advice. You know what I mean? Just be watchful and humble yourself to learn from other people.
What kind of growth are we going to see from Fab on Loso's way too?
Just more growth in as a man, as an artist, as a father, as a a good person, just a good friend or whatever. Like I want to continue to show through my music all of the places I've gone, what I'm thinking, what I see, how I feel, and be able to illustrate that and still be able to do my flows that I like, my metaphors, my punchlines, and all of that as well. So, I gradually bring people along as we grow. You know what I'm saying? You don't leave them and just say, hey, jump off this bridge with me. You wanna at least walk them up to the edge of the bridge, and then and then they can evolve and grow with you as well.
You've worked with a lot of great artists, Fab, from Jay to, so many others, Kiss, obviously. Who's the artist you've never done a song with that you'd like to link up with?
Artist I ain't do nothing with, I would like to, I guess Eminem. You know what I'm saying? I haven't worked with Eminem, and I totally respect his craft and what he does as an MC. So I would love to.
Has it ever been talked about?
Not through me and him personally, but it's been talked about, throughout the camps and just trying to
How does
figure
that work?
out.
If you want to do a song with M or another rapper, do you just hit them up, or are there so many other people involved?
Well, M is probably different from other rappers, but I don't have Eminem's contact, so I can't just hit him up. I guess I would have to reach out to his camp and we wait for a response.
So kind of you're putting I kind of the way I got you on the show. You're kind of putting in a request for Eminem, I want to do a verse I want him to do a verse on my album or something.
Yeah, I mean it could be now, it could be for the album, or it could be later. At any point, I just want before we both hang up our jerseys in the Raptors, I want to at least have the chance to get it done. If it does happen, I would be truly honored. If it doesn't, the world keeps spinning, and we both will be who we are at the end of the day also. So, I would love to do a joint with him because I respect his craft, and I think that, he's one of the guys that represents lyricism still to this day. And that's what I also represent and stand for as well.
No, definitely. That's a hot combination. That'd be a good I'm for that. If I can get that together, man, I got you.
All right.
But one last thing, it's actually one of my basketball questions that I forgot to ask you in the middle of the interview, so bad job by me, but it's a perfect last question before we wrap it up. You're from Brooklyn. No one reps Brooklyn harder than you. Maybe the Nets are going to Brooklyn. I mean, are you gonna switch over, or are you gonna? I mean, what? That's you are Brooklyn, Faz. You and Jay, you guys are Brooklyn. So what's gonna happen?
Yeah,
when the Nets go to Brooklyn?
You gotta support the home team. So you gotta support Brooklyn, man. You gotta support the Nets. I'm gonna still support the Knicks as well. You know what I mean? So I always root for my city, and that's not gonna change with the Brooklyn Nets. I'm gonna have to, sneak in and pop into a couple games as well.